Good afternoon. Welcome to Coffee Talk. My name is Brendan Smith with Batdorf & Bronson Coffee Roasters. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Today on Coffee Talk, we're going to talk about this little guy. This is the Kalita Wave pour-over coffee brewer. Show that to you right there. And we're going to talk about some coffee. So if you're just tuning in, please share the stream. We're going to give away coffee to somebody that's sharing our live stream today. So please, please, please share. Saturday we gave away a French press coffee brewer. And last Wednesday we gave away a Kalita Wave. So who knows what we'll give away. We can give away some coffee as well. Leave me a note in the chat. Let me know you're here. We're also going to talk about some coffee today. This is our Dancing Goats blend. Dancing Goats blend is our signature coffee at Batdorf & Bronson. Tasting notes are cherry, chocolate, and spice. It's a blend of coffees from typically about 4 different coffee regions. And it's got some amazingly balanced notes in it. We love it on espresso. We love it on drip. It brews great through the Kalita. So we're going to brew that for you today. So if you're just tuning in, welcome. And thank you so much for joining us. Give me a shout out. Let me know that you're here. And we appreciate that very much. Let's just check everything, make sure we look good. All right. There we go. All right. Also, don't forget that we are offering, just for our viewers, I've got a coupon going on. I just found out that a bunch of you are using the coupon. I'm so pleased to hear that. Please keep using it. We got it for you for tuning in. It is code WATCHANDLEARN10. It's on your screen now. If you go to batdorfcoffee.com, watch and learn 10, you can order your coffee and save 10%. Okay. If you've got questions, hit me up in the comments. Let me know what your questions are. I've got my little comment feed open here, so I will try to keep an eye on that and say hello to everyone as they're joining. We're going to start brewing in just a minute, but I want to give you guys a chance to join us. Okay. So if you're just joining today, we're going to do Kalita Wave. All right. If you tuned in this morning, we did some coffee cupping with Bob, with Pablo. That was awesome. Today we're going to do Kalita Wave. So I'm going to give, looks like we've got some folks watching. Hey, Eric, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Shout out to everyone else who's watching. If you haven't gotten a chance, go ahead and share that stream. Let your friends know that you are live, and hopefully they can join us as well. And if you've got questions, let me know. We'll cover them in this live stream. So the Kalita Wave is this brewer here. It's a great little brewer for a number of reasons. Number one, it's indestructible metal design. Great for camping, great for not breaking it. Fantastic. I am one that is known to break things. This is my personal V60, another great brewer, but you can see I've chipped it there. I've chipped it there because it's ceramic. My Kalita Wave, much better shape. It's also, like most brewers, kind of known for how it handles the coffee. This is a Hario V60, This has a very open design, which means you need a lot of pour control to brew with this. The Kalita Wave has 3 small pinholes, which allows for a different kind of extraction than the V60 would. I find this one to be, still requires some care, but to be a little easier to brew with, so I really like it for that as well. But I think it brews up better than like this Melita style with the single hole, creating that kind of false pressure by forcing all of the water through that one little hole. So let's do some brewing. So the first thing I need is a Kalita Wave filter, which I have here. You'll notice this is a flat bottom method rather than coming to a perfect cone. The bottom is flat. That helps with even extraction. By creating that flat bottom, it means that it's more likely that all the coffee will be evenly saturated with water. So we like that. Hello, Facebook user. Hi, Becky. Thanks for tuning in. We're here in our training lab in St. Petersburg, Florida. If you haven't visited us here, you should, once it's open again. This is a great spot. We love having people here making coffee with us. If you want to see more of the lab sometime, maybe we'll take a little virtual tour. Let me know in the comments. We can do that. All right, so we've got our coffee. We've got our filter. And let me grab one thing off the counter. Okay, we also have a scale. By the way, if you need a scale, we have this scale on our website. This is the Brewista Pro Coffee Scale. It's available on batdorfcoffee.com. You can use that coupon, Watch and Learn 10, get 10% off your purchase, which could include having a nice coffee scale. I've got this one programmed for my espresso machine, so I'm going to use my other scale for today. The next thing I'm going to do is get my coffee. So I'm doing 25 grams of coffee, and you want to grind this a little bit coarser than you would for, say, a V60 or other pour-over brewer, but a little finer than a Chemex. So it's kind of a medium grind that works really well on this. We're going to pour our coffee in. Perfect. We've got our hot water standing by. And we need a cup. So if you haven't already, please share the stream, let some folks know. We're doing a little brewing. If you've got any home brewing questions, that's really what I'm here for, right, is to answer your questions. I know that sometimes brewing by hand can seem challenging, but it's really easy. If you know a few tips, you can do a really good job. So I'm just knocking this down. I like to make it a nice, flat, even bed of coffee if I can help it. Get you a nice shot of that. Now I'm going to put the coffee on the scale. Let's see. Back it up a little bit so you can see it. There we go. All right, so I've got my coffee, I've got my scale. Today I'm brewing with Dancing Goats Blend. So if you're just joining us, this is our signature coffee. We like to say that this is a crowd pleaser. Everybody loves Dancing Goats Blend. It is cherry, chocolate, and spice are the tasting notes. It's expertly blended, very consistent. This coffee is always available. It always tastes wonderful, and it's always a safe bet. It's a great, great everyday coffee. So we love this coffee. It smells awesome. For me, it's just dark enough to have some roastiness. It's got that sweetness of the cherry and chocolate. Chocolate really comes through in this. And then it still finishes clean, which I like. So it's a really nice balanced cup of coffee. You can drink it black. You can add cream. all around. If you haven't tried our Dancing Goats, try it. And if you buy a coffee brewer and a bag of our Dancing Goats, at the same time, you'll see 25% off the coffee today. So pick up some Dancing Goats blend. All right, so we preheated our water to about 200 degrees. Now what we're going to do, let me zoom you in on this, is I'm going to pour about 50 grams of water right onto here. And I want to do that because I'm looking for twice as much water as the coffee that's in the brewer. So I put 25 grams of coffee. I'm going to put 50 grams or milliliters of water on top. The reason I do twice as much is because the water can actually be held by the coffee. The coffee can hold about twice as much water as its own weight. Very, very strong, that coffee. It expands to absorb the water. What we're doing is we're blooming the coffee. When we say blooming, as a part of the roasting process, CO2 is produced, and that CO2 is trapped in the coffee. So by pouring just enough water on there, we're activating that CO2 and allowing it to escape out into the atmosphere. By doing that, we allow the water better access to the coffee to dissolve and do its job as a solvent to extract great coffee flavor. If we were to just bury it all, then the CO2 would kind of get trapped under the water, and it would prevent good access to coffee. All right? Let's see. All right, so we're giving it 30, 45 seconds at most. Hey, Josh. Love the shirt. Thank you, Tessa. All right, so now what we're going to do is we've given it 30, 45 seconds. We're going to continue brewing. Now I want to pour, and I basically want to fill this up. So I'm going to pour in concentric circles from the outside to the inside. And I want to shoot to get this almost completely full. That should get me to somewhere around 300 grams. Let's see if I can show you that. Let's go to camera 2 here. See if we can't get a better view. Okay, so we filled it up and we're letting this drain a little bit. Almost to the top. And I'm afraid I can't hold it there. But, you know, maybe next week I'll have the budget for one of those fancy overtop cameras. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to pour in concentric circles. And I just want to pour enough water to make up for what I'm losing. So you'll notice on the side of this brewer that there are these rings. These are great little guidelines. So as the coffee drops down a couple of rings, I'm just going to give it a couple of little pours. And a couple of little pours. And I'm kind of keeping the coffee relatively high in the cone. I do that because I want to keep water and coffee in constant contact. I want to retain heat as much as possible. And then, once I get all the way up to my final desired brew weight, I can pull the coffee just like that. So my total volume that I'm going for is 400 grams or 400 milliliters. Make sure that you use a cup that is large enough to hold that, which is always a good thing to do. Oh, did I lose you? Can you see me? Hopefully you can see me. And when you're all done, what you should see is that the coffee has created a very flat bed of coffee in the bottom. That flat bed lets me know that all of that coffee participated in the brew. I think I just stole that phrase from Ben. Sorry, Ben. Or Josh, one of you, because I thought it sounded funny. Like coffee can get a participation award. Participated in the brew, meaning that if you have coffee that's crawling up the sides, it's not underwater the whole time, then that coffee is not part of the extraction. I don't know about everyone, if everyone's experience is the same, probably not. When I started brewing coffee, I wasn't very good at dialing in my grind. And so I used to cheat with my technique. So one of the things I would do is I would leave coffee above the brew line, kind of stuck to the paper. And I did that because I was over-extracting my brew. So I left some coffee out. That's not a good way to do it. The best way to do it is to dial in your grind size. You want, in general, this is a rule for pretty much all coffee brewing, you want the finest grind that does not over-extract your coffee, while having all of the coffee and all of the water in contact for all of the time it's supposed to in the brew cycle. So you want to use enough coffee, and you want it ground fine enough. If you over-extract that coffee, that means the coffee may be ground a little too fine, and you just need to take it a click coarser. But I find that it's better to go finer and finer and finer until you over-extract, and then just pull back a level. Because the finer you go when it's not over-extracting, the sweeter the cup will get. Okay? All right, so any questions about that brew style? Hey, guys, thanks for tuning in. Okay, let's take a sip of this very full cup. Really good, sweet. Really important that you use water that's hot enough. I can tell you that if you have coffee that's fresh and you brew it either in an electric brewer that can't get hot enough or some other method, and you don't heat the water up enough, the result is going to be a very flat cup of coffee. You'll lose a lot of nuance. So we hand brew coffee because we want all of that. It's not so much, it is control, but it's not control like we're being controlling. It's control like having water that's sufficiently hot, having coffee that's fresh, and putting those things together creates a really good brew. So big takeaways with the Kalita Wave is just go bit by bit, add a little bit at a time. Start with your bloom, twice the throw weight. So 25 grams of coffee in, 50 milliliters of water. Fill the chamber up, and then as it drains, add just a little more. If you go in concentric circles from outside to inside, you'll find that you can hit all of the coffee really evenly. We want all the coffee to have even access to, all the water to have even access to the coffee. Eric, the right temperature is between 195 and 205 Fahrenheit. So if you're boiling your water at home, one trick is to take it off the boil and just leave it for about 30 seconds before you start pouring. That's going to help you get in that range. But if you're going to err on either side, err on the side of the water being hot, because you lose temperature in your brew. It can even be said that starting with boiling water, you're typically losing several degrees just pouring it in. Too cool is what's going to get you that flat, under-extracted flavor, and that's what we've come to know from our inexpensive electric coffee makers that say only get to 185 degrees at their hottest. They just never get hot enough, or they don't maintain that temperature to brew the coffee correctly. So hotter is better. Another tip that works for almost any brew method is to preheat your vessel. So that means put your filter in there, give it a rinse, dump that water out, preheat everything. The vessel itself has a tendency to steal heat from your brew. You want all of that heat in your brew. And think about it this way. You guys know cold brew. We did cold brew, right? Water is a wonderful solvent. It's really good at pulling all of those beautiful flavors out of coffee, but it also can pull unpleasant things out of coffee. When we apply heat to water, we increase the efficacy of that water. We let it do its job faster. Cold brew teaches us that we can actually brew coffee with cool water by doing it very slowly. Yeah, Eric says he preheats his mug. Perfect way to do it. Just put your mug right on top. And I already had my stuff preheated right before the show. But when you put your fresh filter in, let's see. When you put your fresh filter in and you got your little cupper, and if you want to make more or less coffee, you can't make a lot more, but you can make less. Just do 16 to 1, meaning 16 parts water to 1 part coffee. So you can just pour that in there, wet that filter down, and then drain it right into your cup. That's going to warm your mug, keep everything nice and hot. If you want I'll give you a pro tip the other way. If you want a hot cup of coffee, do what Eric said, preheat your mug. If you often find that your coffee is too hot, consider not preheating your mug. It goes against conventional coffee wisdom, but the real place you need the heat is in the brew. I don't care so much if I'm stealing heat once it's brewed. And so if I want to drink it a little bit quicker, if I'm giving it to my wife, I often preheat my own cup and I don't preheat hers because she's a little more sensitive than I am. Hi, sweetheart, if you're watching. Love you. So, but you always want to preheat the vessel, and if you're trying to retain that heat, especially if you're taking it with you, you need it to stay hot. Preheating everything is going to go a long way towards preserving that temperature. Because again, if your vessel gets hot, it's stealing that heat from the water, right? Make sense? Cool. Any questions about that? All right. If you missed it, thank you, Facebook user. It just says Facebook user on my little thing. Apologies. Let's pull up a look at our website. And I'm going to show you our coffee. So let's see here. We're going to go to this here. You should be able to see the website, yes? Look good? Okay, so batdwarfcoffee.com. Don't forget, Watch and Learn 10. You can get 10% off. If you go to batdwarfcoffee.com and you go to coffee, our Dancing Goats blend. This is our signature coffee. Best-selling. It's versatile. It's accessible. Perfect for espresso and drip coffee. Dark, smooth, sweet, floral. Clean acidity. I love that too. I feel like Dancing Goats really finishes very clean. For me, it's clean. It's tasty. It's pretty forgiving. Not all coffees are as forgiving, but Dancing Goats brews up great, even when you don't do a perfect job. When you do an amazing job, it's out of this world. Any of our coffees that you'd like more information about, you can go to our website and you can click View Detailed Coffee Report. And from here, we give you all the information you might want to know. So you can see that this is a blend, and a blend just means that the coffee comes from more than one coffee growing region. For blends, we're really trying to highlight a flavor profile versus for some of our single origins, we may be even trying to highlight a regional characteristic of that coffee. A little bit of backstory, our signature blend, it's named for the goats, this is great, that according to legend discovered the spirit-lifting power of coffee. This story is that, see if this got me back. The story is that there was a farmer whose goats got caught in a thicket, and when he came and found them, it was, they were eating coffee cherries, right? Coffee is a seed in a fruit that's called a coffee cherry. And the legend goes that the goats were ecstatic, dancing around, and soon the farmer found that if he only picked, processed, roasted, ground, and brewed the seed of this cherry, he too would be dancing with his goats. That's the legend of the dancing goats, and we love it. It's a lot of fun. So our Dancing Goats blend is named in honor of the legend of the discovery of coffee. Somewhere in Ethiopia or Yemen, probably that's where coffee kind of originates from. So let's take you back to our website. Again, 10% off, Watch and Learn 10, whatever you purchase. You can also find our Dancing Goats blend in decaf, cupping notes, cherry chocolate and spice, but there's more information on here. Look at this, guys. If you're a home espresso brewer, Josh, I don't know if you're watching, other Josh, not Josh in Olympia, but I know we've got one of our super fans out there who just bought an espresso machine, some Dancing Goats. We even put a recipe for how to pull it as espresso. We even suggest some brewers that it works well in. So lots of information about the coffee, and you can find a coffee report for every single coffee on our website. Let's just take a quick look. If you haven't been there in a minute, you can also find lots of fun stuff like mugs, Airscape coffee containers to keep it fresh. Comes in white and black. I love these Keep Cups. These are awesome little cups. They're invented by a barista. They've got a wide mouth, and they're really good because you can pour latte art into them. So if you want to be environmentally friendly, you bring this cup to your coffee bar clean, give it to them, and have your cappuccino poured directly into the cup, and you can still get that pretty latte art. Hoodies, tumblers, I mean, all kinds of good stuff here. My favorite hat, really good stuff. And then, of course, if you need a coffee brewer, we've got everything here. All your brewer needs. We went over the French press the other day, the Chemex, the AeroPress. If you don't have a grinder, this is the biggest upgrade you can make to your coffee game. It's well worth the investment to grind coffee fresh. A scale, all kinds of fun stuff. If you want a good electric brewer, this is a great one. This is going to brew the coffee hot enough to get the proper extraction. And of course, we've got filters. And oh my gosh, this is good news. Look at this, guys. The Escalia Primo digital scale. That is awesome, which comes in 3 colors. It kind of looks like it's this really slick. I want the multicolored version. That looks amazing, but it's actually one of these 3 colors. Props to the artwork here to show them all. This is a great little scale. So you can pick your color, order that. If you need a coffee scale, look no further. This is an awesome one to order. I'm so pleased to see that. Awesome. That is a favorite among our team. We love the Escalia scale. It's a great scale. So pick one of those up. Any questions from the audience? Be sure to share the stream. I'm going to look at the shares afterwards, and we're going to give away some coffee to somebody that shared the stream today. We appreciate you tuning in. We're also going to be on every weekday, 9 a.m. Pacific time, noon on the East Coast where I am. We have Josh and Ben trading off shows then. Awesome show this morning. Our green bean buyer, Bob, who has already confirmed that he'll be coming on this show soon. So if you want to meet our green bean buyer who travels for us abroad to source excellent coffee, let me know. We will have a good show with him coming up soon. And other than that, tune in tomorrow to see the next show at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. We'll be back on Saturday at 4 o'clock to do another coffee talk. Let us know if there's something that you would like to learn. We're also going to be going over each of our coffees in our lineup. We've got everything you might like. So if you're a real dark roast lover, we've got you covered. If you like that traditional Colombian coffee profile, we've got the best Colombian coffee you'll ever have. If you like something lighter, fruitier, sweeter, we've got amazing coffees happening right now. Our Papua New Guinea, Nurikori, awesome coffee from Indonesia, notes of lemon and cedar in that one. We've got our Ethiopia Harar with notes of blueberry, our Burundi Gahahi wash coffee is just lovely, floral, bits of tangerine, that kind of thing. We've got all kinds of coffee. Our French roast, if you like that roasty, kind of smoky vibe, is the best French roast I've ever had. So we've got all kinds of coffee. Today we're talking about our Dancing Goats blend, but we'll be featuring each of our coffees in a little more depth in upcoming shows. So if there's one you're interested in, let us know, and we'll be sure to feature that or try it out and let us know. We've got a VIP group for discounts and specials. It's the Batdorf Boosters VIP Coffee Club, so please join that on Facebook today. It's called Batdorf Boosters VIP Coffee Club. And we've got discounts, pre-releases. We'll be putting up information about upcoming coffees and other things that you'll definitely want to check out. And in the meantime, drinking the Burundi right now. All right, that is a good one. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. We really appreciate it. Share the video, tell your friends. We'll be back with more content for you in the coming days, and we look forward and appreciate you hanging out with us from home, brewing good coffee, and we hope you have a great day. Thanks, guys.